Hi, I'm Paul for Velo Works, and I'm going to be refining the gears on my Brompton to suit my cycling style and the bike rides that I wish to do. I've owned this Brompton for 8 years, and it came with a chainring, a 50-tooth chainring at the front, which I did find initially quite hard. I used it a lot around Glasgow. Glasgow is not super hilly, but when I started to take the Brompton further afield, I changed it to a 44-tooth chain set. We've moved back to Bristol. Bristol's hillier in terms of very sharp, short, sharp hills. I mean, I've been getting on well with the 44-tooth, but I would like to have just a little bit of an easier gear system. I don't want more gears. I'm definitely not looking for more gears, but I would like just the gears to be a little bit easier. In the past, I've experimented with the 2 gears at the back, the derailleur system. This didn't really work very well. I put a bigger cog on, and whilst it did work kind of mechanically, actually it was really annoying because the jump between the 13-tooth cog and the 17 was too much, and actually it disturbed the flow of my riding. So my feeling is if I change the front chain ring, I'm going to have the same feeling at the back when I ride, but I'm just going to kind of ease every gear just that little bit more. So what I'm aiming to do as I take the bike for quite long bike rides, 20 to 40 miles, I want to, when I come across a steep hill, rather than having to stand up and really grind away, which I can do, I actually want to just sit back and chill. So my aim is to fit a new chain set, well, new chain ring. I was going to go for a chain ring from H&H, a 40-tooth chain ring. For some reason, I just haven't taken the plunge. Now, in my infinite wisdom and great stock control here at Velo Works, I realised that actually I do have a right chain ring. So I've got a couple of them actually, a black and a silver one. So it's from TA, and it's actually a 39 tooth, so actually a tiny bit easier. So I'm going to look to fit this without a chain guard. I think I'm going to go for a black because I think it will look nice on the bike. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, some of the considerations with the drivetrain and where I need to get to at the end of it. And then we'll take it for a short test ride to see what it's like. We're going to need to test this over a longer period of time, so we will do another video just to see how I get on with it on more of a longer tour. As mentioned, we're going to be taking off this chain ring and replacing it with the new one. What to consider is when we put the new chain ring on, the chain is going to get slack. So what I want is I want this derailleur to be in exactly the same position. This has got a big spring on it, so if the chain goes slack, the derailleur will actually move back that way. And we manage that by shortening the chain. One consideration is if I do want to use the 44 tooth and the 39 tooth, then what I can do is I can use a quick link. So there's a quick link in this chain, which you'll see in a minute, and I can take that apart. Then I can break the chain and use another quick link. Whilst I would never use 2 quick links on a customer's bike, I don't mind using them on my bike. Therefore, what I can then do is I can actually use this chain to go between the 2 chain rings. So use it at its full length for the 44, take out one of the chain links and the extra bit of chain, relink it, and then use it for the 39. Take the chain off, it will show you what will happen because the chain will get more slack, only a bit, and the derailleur will move back. And that won't be in an ideal position. So we have to manage that. I'm going to now take off the chainring bolts and the chain ring. So I've got the new chainring on, not a big job. Made sure the bolts are torqued, bottom bracket's in nice condition, so don't need to worry about that. So I'm just going to clean the chain. I'm going to take a couple of links out of the chain to start with, and then we'll see where we are in terms of the pulley wheels on the derailleur being in the right place. And then I'll have a think about putting another chain link in if I feel as though it's necessary. To be honest, I think at the moment I might do that with a newer chain, because where I'm riding at the moment, I think I'm just going to, if this works out, I'm just going to stick with the 39. So next on to shortening the chain. So I've taken one link out of the chain. Ideally, I want this to become about there. So I think I'm going to risk taking another link out of the chain. Sometimes, unfortunately, if you take too many out, it goes right up there and it doesn't work. But let's risk taking one more. So yeah, super happy with that angle on the derailleur. So going from a 42 chainring to a 39, I've needed to take off 2 chain links. That's 2 full chain links. So that's 2 inners and 2 master or outer chain links. And ideally, the Brompton now should behave as it always has behaved, just with some easier gears. I'm not going to do the 2 link idea as mentioned. I'm just going to stick with this setup for a while, but that is something that could happen if you wanted to switch between 2 chain rings, especially if you've got a 52 and you want a 39. The bigger the difference between the chain rings, the kind of longer bit of chain you would need, so it would be an easier job. This one, using such a small bit of chain, it might be a little bit faffy. Something I might think about when I replace the chain. So now it's time to take it for a test ride.
Good?
It's great. Excellent. So this is Henman's Hill in Bristol, which is quite a steep hill. Perfect for testing the new setup. Let me get my breath. So, had I come up there with the 44 tooth chainring, when you saw me I would have been stood up from around the corner all the way to here. Whilst it's okay if I'm doing long sustained rides, at least time I'm stood up, the better, because I can sit down for longer and sustain that kind of level of work for longer over, say, 40-mile tour, especially if I'm loaded. I'm happy with that. So whilst I know this setup may not be everyone's cup of tea, I know that there are people that do all kinds of things with Bromptons, 14 gears, 8 gears. Personally, I don't want to do that to the Brompton. I like the Brompton as it is. I think if I'm getting to ride and I actually need to have more gears on the Brompton, then I'll choose to go onto my touring bike or my road bike. But definitely really happy with this 39 tooth chainring at the front. Again, it needs more testing. Used it on a hill and it's done exactly what I thought it would do, but I need to look at how it's going to suit me long term, so we'll get back to you with a longer term review. Thanks for watching the video, and please subscribe and leave any comments if you have any ideas about this setup, any views, or if you've done something different, please let us know. Thanks for watching.